Hello, everyone. Welcome to our new series, Poetic Interpretations. I am Chris, aka Carpool Tonal. I am a filmmaker, songwriter, poet, and I have directed films and wrote musical theater productions.
My name is Kenny, also known as Spectre Falling. I'm an artist, producer, musician. I have, I think, like 197 tracks out there in the wild right now.
And what we do here is we do a bit of a deep dive into the symbolism of the cinematography for music videos. We also will look at the poetry and like the our interpretations of what the artists are trying to say in their lyrics and in their songs, and just even also the poetic art from the music videos themselves.
Hell yeah.
So today we have Neccos for breakfast. Failure
Oh,
is my dream. This will be kind of a first reaction for me, at least.
same here. I've seen the thumbnail.
And I like the Riddler question marks around it
Yep,
already.
yep. Big fan.
Yeah. Let's get it. Mm. First impression right away is oh, it reminds me of some like Green Day.
Yeah, almost like Green Day with like, almost like almost a psychedelicness to that bass. Like that bass was fucking fat.
There's like a 90s vibe to it. And
Yeah,
it might be because of that might be why I'm saying Green Day is the
yeah,
Green Day bass. Da, 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 da,
yep.
da, 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 da.
It's just that
It
grungy, dirty ass bass that fucking kicks.
ooh, and I feel like I already had a bit of some symbolism in there, which
Oh yeah,
because the list, which we'll get back to in the breakdown, but
oh yeah. I've already got some thoughts on that myself.
yeah. And we haven't even heard the lyrics yet, but
Nope.
already I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a great song.
Yep, I'm hyped, bro.
So the title is "Failure Is My Dream," um, which I saw failure was the bottom thing on that checklist. So
Yep.
failure is my dream. Yeah, well, we'll dig into some of this a little more.
Tell me what it is that you want from me. I thought that you had this figured out. I am stressed out, we were the best now. I'm sticking and second guessing myself down. Make one mistake and they'll be selling this out. Only wanted was some follow through. Yeah, but I don't need your good example. I don't need your scream that you're a failure, but failure is my dream. So why don't you come over here and be more like me? Oh, oh, oh,
Holy shit, that's a good song.
Yep. Could
uh,
definitely feel that Weezer influence now. It's awesome.
There's a bit of the it's that 90s rock influence.
Yep.
Um yeah, the Weezer harmonies. I
Yeah.
can actually hear that. The whoa, whoa.
Yep.
Like yeah, I can hear that from the Weezer. Uh, there's actually some good lyrics to this too. We'll
Yep.
we'll, we'll have to dive into, but first reaction from just that chorus is 90s. I
Yep.
that's
Hell yeah.
it transported me back into when I was first listening to music in the 90s.
People want to say like 1994 exactly for some reason. Don't know what the significance to that is.
Yeah, he might have something be like, yeah, this is exactly influenced by the Weezer album in 1994.
Who knows, bro? It could be.
I'll continue with the reaction, but so far, yeah, it's
Loving it.
loving it too. Let me rewind it a little bit back.
And people like me, oh, 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 yes, just like me, you know you need to start the song to say how you feel. Feels like a radio fire rolling backwards down the hill. No, I disappoint you. Capital T-side before I leave New York City. Only wanted was some follow through. Yeah, but I don't need your good example. I don't need you. Scream that you're a failure, but failure is my dream. So why don't you come over here? Why don't you come over here and tell me how this ends? Oh.
I almost just cried right there.
That
I,
was powerful, bro.
it was. Um, First impression, I feel like this song's about imposter syndrome. And this might be the reason why he sent this to me, because we had talked about that before.
I'm not sure if I quite understand imposter syndrome, but I don't know, I picked up on something else and maybe it plays into your imposter syndrome. Like, I don't know, should I save it for the very end or just drop it right now?
Is it a first impression?
Yeah.
Then drop it right now.
So in that scene where they were handing all the paperwork to like the bureaucrats or whatever, it's like everything's failing. Like everything's a failure. So
Yeah.
I want to be a failure. So that would have fit in. I don't know. Something like that. Like don't stress being a failure because literally everything's failing around us.
And this first impression wise, especially off of what you just said, the fact that it's titled Failure is My Dream, it's like almost a nightmare. Failure is a nightmare for all of us who have imposter syndrome, all of us artists. And the fact that the sine wave on average, well, it's kind of a sine wave, but it's actually more of a musical wave because
Yeah.
sine is equal. Um, it's like they're going from below average to above average, and like the way, just like the waveform itself is what they're um experiencing within their life, and that's what made me
Yep.
think of imposter syndrome is like you're feeling like you're average, and then you go down to poor to good, and then it dips down to failure. Like, um, I I firmly believe this is about imposter syndrome.
Well, you might be right.
And and we'll dig a bit more into that when we do our breakdown of it. But
All right.
Me how this ends. Oh, 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 oh. Tell me what it is that you want from me. I thought that you had it figured out. Oh, and I wanted, but come as a sad surprise.
Yeah, it's a surprise that you wanna lose. Cause I need a win to ease my
Scream that
mind.
you're a failure, but
Failure's not my dream.
so why don't you come over here?
Ooh, why don't you come over here?
Why don't you come over here?
Why don't you come over here?
Tell me how this ends.
wow.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Great song, Neccos.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Daniel, applause.
Fantastic.
I am a little ashamed I haven't heard this song by him yet. I should have
Same.
dug. Yeah, I should have dug a little more. I heard a couple of his albums, but I hadn't heard this song yet. This is a new one.
Maybe it's a deep cut.
This might be why he sent it to us, because this does look like it is, yeah, Neckles for Breakfast, so it's not his previous band. So this is probably one of his solo songs. And
Gotcha.
that's my assumption of it, because it said it was released a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah. And if he did this by himself, this is a good job, because he's doing his harmonies, he's doing his like backup vocals and the call and response as well.
Yep.
It's
It sounded like there was probably like 5 people in that band in that recording to me.
yeah,
And then that crazy like lead, I don't know if that was a synth or a guitar with some crazy like effects, but that was nuts, that little solo.
yeah, it is a little more different than from some of the stuff that I heard before, like where he's doing like more like soul type music,
Yeah.
especially with the guitar solos that he has had. Um, I wonder if this is his first solo song after he left the band.
Oh wow. That'd be cool. And he asked us to take a look at it.
Yeah, and I know me and him had talked about imposter syndrome, and like he really connected with my being vulnerable conversations about imposter syndrome, but also my documentary about it. And this might be why he sent this to me, is because he knew that I would probably pick this up, because failure is the dream. So you said you didn't really know really about much about imposter syndrome, but it's about self-doubt. And the biggest thing that connects to it is all these question marks around his head. Um, you're questioning, or you're doubting what you're doing.
So
And
it's so would it be like how I am crazy indecisive about like trivial things, but it would be about like how I feel and what I'm doing and shit?
yeah, it's more like you being trivial about your own decision. So yeah, indecision in a way. But it's also trivial about how society will perceive you through these
Oh, gotcha.
so like these questions of like, am I doing the right thing? Am I going the right path? Well,
So it's kind of like in an RPG when they have an honor system, and it's like if you do some shady shit, you start to lean your morality towards like you start to see yourself in a different light almost.
little like that, but a lot of the imposter syndrome from artists comes from us not feeling like anyone else is going to accept our art. So
Oh, okay.
it's it's a little less about us making bad decisions and us questioning the
Is it
decisions we make that
is it
could be
like
good.
that thing like how a lot of artists will like make something and just hold on to it forever instead of releasing it out into the wild?
Yeah, that I mean that's one of the parts of imposter syndrome. There's like five different types of imposter syndrome.
Okay.
That part that you're talking about where you're not releasing it is the aspect of imposter syndrome where you don't think that you're going to be valued by the things that you create and put out to the world.
Hmm.
And like a lot of that type of imposter syndrome comes from just like being afraid to talk to somebody, being afraid to share your feelings because you don't think that they're going to be expressed as valuable or like acknowledged.
So it's uh, hmm, maybe that like I don't know. Maybe I had a little bit of that going on when I started rapping because like I had a bunch of stuff recorded and never really showed anybody because like the one person I did show didn't like it. And like one of my other friends heard it and was like, this is actually not bad. And I was like, oh, there's a little confidence. Maybe I'll try to do that.
Yeah, yeah, that is the type of imposter syndrome where you don't feel like if you did release these or for artists, it's if you don't release this art or if you did having rejection and having people not connect with it, things like that.
Okay.
Um, and then if one person doesn't connect with it and that rejection part of it actually makes you feel like you can't release more stuff, you're like, um, so I've had this imposter syndrome when I've tried to perform from like my family and I try to do like campfire guitar songs and play music and then I'm getting family telling me it's also the same thing of like when you sing a song and they're like, "Oh, who sings that?" And then you're like, "Oh, Dave Grohl sings this." And they're like, "Well, let him sing it, not you."
Gotcha. Yeah.
And it's that same part of it's a confidence part within that. And it's that part of imposter syndrome is a little less about self-doubt, rather about than the external part of
Okay.
what you're receiving that gives you doubt. Um, which is just one of the five types of imposter syndrome. Um,
There's always layers.
yeah, I only know all this because I actually did a whole research paper on imposter syndrome and I did the documentary on it. If you
Hell
haven't seen
yeah.
it, it's the documentary is called "Fake It Till You Break."
I think I think I started watching it because you sent it to me, but if you send it to me again after this, I will have time to watch the whole thing.
Well, for anyone watching interested, I'll put the link below, I guess.
Hell
But
yeah.
yeah, "Fake It Till You Break" is because what they tell you as I mean, I was basically taught this in school is that, you fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
But I found out that imposter syndrome is a big thing that counselors actually have to go through people like career counselors.
Yeah.
Um, like when you choose a degree that or choose a skill set that you're not as good at yet, you're gonna have this feeling like you don't belong and having like this doubt that you can become this person. And then they tell you, like the professors and just people around you, or just the culture of, it might just be even American culture, but you fake it till you make it. And
Yeah, it's like
that,
dress for the job you want, like that dumb stuff.
well, that whole statement is actually, if you know you're faking it,
Yeah, then you're
um,
never gonna be able to convince yourself.
and and faking it, like imposter syndrome leads to a lot of depression, anxiety, and it also leads to burnout because
Ah,
you're trying so hard and not being validated by the things that you're doing. And
When I started out, I was making beats. Like I'm not the best at that, and like I would just make the trashiest beats and just get down on myself and like literally for like a month just wouldn't do anything musically because I'd be like I don't want to pull that back out and like be like oh this isn't what I want.
yeah, like you hit that point where it's like if you're not receiving validation for it, you're actually now realizing that you are faking it.
Yep.
Um pretending to be this person, and that is so hurtful in the mental mind of like doubt and stuff. And like these question marks around the character's head really makes me feel like
Well,
that is
I
what
feel
this
like
song is
I
talking
have
about.
I feel like I've tackled this in a song myself called Lone Oak. That's all about like the whole song is me just basically talking to myself about like, do I have the talent? Am I just full of shit? Like, am I good? Does it even matter at the end of the day?
Will I ever be enough?
Yep,
Which,
like
you know
exactly.
that song. That song is literally about the imposter
Hmm.
syndrome, and it's just the inter battle of like, will I ever be enough for you, and will I ever be enough for me?
Yep.
Because when people aren't validating your feelings, you start to question if you should have these feelings, and
Yeah.
that
Is it just
and that
something wrong
yeah,
with me?
and that's failure is my dream is like that whole the title of it is like if all you perceive and all you are envisioning is failure in your life, it becomes your dream. It becomes like, I cannot make it. I cannot be enough. And I'm wondering now if he sent that to me because I sent him that song.
Hmm.
Will I ever be enough? Yeah, because that whole aspect of failure is like when it's a big thing with people who don't pursue and continue their art is when they look at themselves as failures, it's like I couldn't make it, so then I'm gonna do something else. So like this is their dream was a failure. Like
Oh yeah.
how my dream to be an athlete, I my body failed me. So then I was a failure in my dream. Um, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like just the way I don't know. I've always felt like when you go to sleep you have a different dream every night. So like you fail at one, whatever. You got plenty more dreams to chip away at. Like you can make it. You can make one of them happen.
And
I, don't know. I try to stay
let
very positive. I don't know. I'm not trying to sound like cheesy as fuck over here and
oh
like
no.
I don't understand anything. I just try to, I don't know. I have found if I can spin it to be positive, it helps me out.
And I mean that takes it takes discipline, it takes time, it takes
Oh yeah.
age to
And I
do that.
definitely have my moments.
And I wonder if what you just said actually relates to like the multiple question marks around their head. So there's different aspects of them dreaming.
Yeah.
Um,
Like
so
which dream is a failure and which dream can I achieve?
and which yeah.
It's
Well, yeah, there's gonna be some layers that it's gonna take a minute to break
I know
down. Like
we haven't even started playing it a second time and we've already gone for like 15 minutes.
there's just a lot to it,
There is. This is good
and
stuff. A lot of
and
substance.
and me knowing Daniel, like
This brings an extra level of like personalness to it.
and yeah, just from what he's expressed, like the battle that he faces the most is a battle that I face the most is self-doubt. And these question marks around it right away, like it's like you questioning
It's a
every little thing.
it's a hard one to deal with. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I've learned to battle it in my ways, but I have self-doubt. We all do. But
Yeah.
I
I
don't know.
mean, everyone on Threads has helped me.
Hell yeah.
Like
Same.
I had never released anything until I got on Threads because people helped me through my self-doubt. Even though I made a entire documentary about art people having self-doubt and then about how me not being alone in it. It was just still like I never was, even through that whole documentary, no one ever kind of encouraged me to continue it. Like I had to do it mentally, which is imposter syndrome is a very external thing. So it's the people around you that are not believing in you that make you feel that,
Okay, then
which
I could definitely relate because like that's I don't like during COVID I kind of lost my entire fucking mind because the disconnection from people, like I have to interact with people and shit, and like not having that and not having like even just like I made pizza and even just having somebody being like that's a good looking pizza, not having that around after a while like fucking tore me down and I had no idea what was wrong with me, and like all it was like I missed my herd, like I missed that confirmation that I'm doing good, that like we are gonna be all right, that I'm pulling my weight. Like so I get that a lot.
yeah, then and that's that type of imposter syndrome I think he's talking about in here is um the external validation that you were kind of missing. Not you, but
Oh
yeah,
no,
I mean you
it's
said it, but
same, literally the same thing. Yeah.
let's dig a little deeper.
All right.
He can't smile. He's trying to smile, but he can't.
I noticed that too. Like he's like, I don't know, maybe he could.
I feel like this image is a very good depiction of what imposter syndrome feels like. It's like question marks around you
You're just like stuck in that holding
and
pattern.
in the black and white. So it's also because imposter syndrome does that to you. It's either black or white, or it's
There's no gray
good or bad.
areas.
Yeah, no. I mean, within black and white, there is gray areas, but in your mind, there's only success or failure.
Yeah. There's no moderate
And
success, mild success.
and I had picked that up when we watched the like when we did the first reaction is the
Yep,
black and white aspect to it. I feel like is another symbolic metaphor for imposter syndrome
definitely.
because you're either an imposter, you're either the what people would consider darkness, or you're the light, which is what success, failure, or
You're
success.
A or B.
Because success is the dream, but when you have imposter syndrome, your failure is the thing you're dreaming about.
So the failure ends up taking over the actual dream.
And that's what imposter syndrome is on a black on a
Like a surface
du
level.
yeah, surface level. Right. I was gonna say a duality level, but no, it's more surface. And he's trying to smile, but he can't. This isn't Daniel, is it?
I don't think so. I haven't seen him without a beard other than like a crazy old picture of him, but I don't think it's him. This
Yeah, I
also looks like me when I'm looking at action figures.
you're you're like, oh,
Yep.
I
Oh,
want to buy,
that's
but
cool, but do I have the money? Should I?
he's biting his lip, which is
Yep.
another symbol of like just his whole emotion through this, because he starts out kind of a little angry, And he tries to start believing in himself, but then he starts biting his lip. He gets a little sad. And then he gets a little more angry at himself, it feels like. But he bites his lip to try to continue on.
Yep. He kind of has like that Kubrick stare going on.
And then all these other question marks start appearing. Mm. I feel like also with that is like, oh, he's this, because that happens right when he bites his lip. This happens, so it's like he's going average, and he's becoming poor, and then he's going up to good, going back down to failure. He's trying to reach excellent,
Yep. And it
but
seems to be very difficult.
yeah, it's a inner battle, but it's also it's a roller coaster. That's the word I was looking for.
There we go.
It's a roller coaster of trying to fight through imposter syndrome. Um, yeah, because yeah, it's a battle. Oh. So he made it to good and reached a little high point, and then he dropped back down.
Mm-hmm.
This could also be about mental health, which imposter syndrome is a big part of mental health, but or like it's a big part of how people have crisis when it comes like meaning for suffering. When I had that, it was a big part of feeling like I was an imposter trying to make a musical and trying to make a film. So I had that up feeling like I could belong, and then I couldn't, and then I dropped past. I mean, I went more towards failure, so like I went past poor, but this could also be about just the
This could it could also be like how he thinks society is seeing him.
yeah.
And like it could just be like they see him completely different. Like, no, bro, you're good. I don't know where this crazy line you've got is coming from.
I, like the thing I was gonna yeah, because that also adds to it is mental health is a thing that you go up and down. It's I wouldn't I'm gonna describe it as bipolar, but I don't want to put that label onto it. The
Sure.
ups and downs that you have
It
through
has like ebbs and flows.
yeah, because that's what mental health is you're
Yep.
not always up, you're not always down. You have these type of waves, which the fact that he made it a sine wave, which is the equal up and downs, if you could see how I'm drawing that,
Mm-hmm.
that is a good metaphor for the equilibrium of mental health.
This guy, at least, it looks like he has more ups than downs.
Well, yeah, it's well the equal part here, and then he goes really up. So that's
Yeah.
your manic
I was about to
time.
say he's experiencing some mania. I've been there.
And the fact that this guy is going through that itself. So like he does have a bit of a smile. Yeah. Well, we'll go more deeper into it. My bad for talking so much.
No problem, bro.
Yeah, this is gonna take a while to break down, isn't it? Do you see the pass that is carved out for him?
I
Like
right there I wanted to say I like it zooms in on poor failure. So I think that might have something that might tie into something. Instead of just being failure, they keep poor in there too. So it's almost like, oh, poor failure.
Well, like how we were talking about indecision, how you
Yep.
were talking about that.
Yep.
There is
All the
one,
roads.
which path do you choose? And the question marks are still here. So like
Yep. Like
question,
literally, that's my worst nightmare. I'd be like, what the fuck?
yeah, it's which there's one road that looks straight, but all the other ones are a winding road. Um,
Yeah. But what's
and
there?
you,
What you could see something else on some of those roads, though. You never know.
yeah, I mean, like, people always, oh, not people, but it's always taught to us that you choose the straight path, the one. So the straight path in front of him, I would consider as society, like the norms. Yeah, you go down this path, you go to college, you get a degree, and then you get a career. But the winding path, like it's a biblical reference of the hard path to choose. Forget the exact reference, but it's basically like the harder path to take is actually
Like like you learn more from it. I
you
keep
learn.
hearing I keep hearing JFK in my head right now saying we do these things because they're hard, not because they're easy. And then like we're on the moon not long after that.
Yeah, like there's a lot of musicians who've actually written about the long winding road, which
Yep.
is um the path that actually leads you to happiness is the path with battles and curves, and it's like
But you could
we had talked
also
about the
like you can also
darkness.
see it as like all these roads kind of lead to the same place too, because they all lead to the same horizon.
And but at the end of the day, the straight path might not lead to the same path. And
Well,
that
they
is,
lead to different points of the same area, I guess would if you
yeah.
imagine another straight road back there.
Yeah, if there's a straight road. But yeah, I like there's a biblical reference in this of the path the path least traveled is the path that is has more success at the end. I mean, if we're talking about failure and success, like the path straight, like, that actually leads to more failure than the other paths. And that is me talking about the lot
But
the
so
philosophical references.
it's kind of like if you're taking that straight path, everyone else is doing that. So you have a better chance taking one of these crazy winding roads because there's less competition almost. If if a bunch of people are traveling on this path, there's going to be like less game, there's going to be like less random like fruits and vegetables hanging out. So if you travel the other path, you're going to have a better chance of survival because there's going to be more there for you to benefit from because less competition.
And a lot of it also has to do with like the biblical reference of it is a little more like being an individual yourself. The things that you choose is like this is how people make it in the industry or make it, fame is they're not taking this path that everyone else is taking, like
Mhm.
social media and networking and
Yep.
all this stuff. If they take the winding road and actually go through the struggles and the trials and tribulations that um not taking the normal path.
I mean, sometimes you got to carve your own path.
And that's what I was getting to is these paths were carved, like the path right here was carven by somebody walking it. And
Yep.
I want to say all of them were, because the straight path is the one that was carved by the first person who made a path. But yeah, like how you said, like it's a little competition, everyone on the same path, but yeah, we'll dig a little more into it. I know I got a little stuck on the past thing, but
No worries. There's a lot to get into.
I mean, there's a lot to talk about with past,
Yep.
and if this got kept in, watch the not not you, Kenny, but I mean, unless you, well, you already seen it. The Jordan Collie
Oh yeah.
being vulnerable, or we talk about pass.
Great episode.
Yeah, that because we talk about the exact same thing that I think that Neccos is trying to relay right here. So
Hell yeah.
man, there's too much in this. Sorry. Do you see how the question mark is above the straight path?
Yep.
And then there's two other ones like the paths other people taken, but there's not question marks on the wide path and stuff. But you'll see when it zooms in, all it shows is the straight path with a question mark. So like that's the self-doubting path of like you take that path, you're gonna feel self-doubt, you're gonna feel imposter syndrome.
Gotcha.
What is that?
I don't know. But can you go back a tiny bit where it shows that card again? Yeah. See how they cut off the beginning of average and it turns it into rage?
Oh,
Yeah. My brain originally pulled that OR up and was like orange, and I was like, no, that said rage. But that's
yeah.
good. That's good.
If that was an artistic decision by Daniel, then yeah, that was a good catch by you. I mean, that is because
It goes like failure, poor failure, rage.
and rage is up an emotion. So like
Yeah.
the level of energy that you have to get to rage. Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah, you have to reach a mania.
you have to reach mania for it. Yeah, that was a good catch.
Like yeah.
Hell yeah.
I know what that is. It's a fishing lure
It's a fishing lure.
because he's thinking about fishing, and then like he puts it down and gets his paperwork out. Like, ah, this bullshit. I'd rather be fishing. That old trope.
And he's loading a piece of paper into a typewriter, so
Yep.
um with all of the stuff that happened from the beginning, doubting yourself as a writer, doubting yourself as a creator.
It's like
But
why don't I just go fish and relax and not even worry about any of this?
or him putting the lure on the line is like I'm gonna try
Oh,
at least.
he's gonna
I'm
put
gonna
himself
try.
out there. He's gonna put him on the line and
And then he puts the paper in the typewriter and begins to try.
huh.
Yeah, because especially with failure, like to fail, you have to try.
Yep.
And to try that, you have to dream about
And then you've got
becoming
like
a person.
Yoda constantly messing with people's minds, saying do or do not. There is no try, but bro, you can try and it's okay.
Now, with that layer or interpretation, listening to the lyrics, I want to see if he does follow that because this is the beginning of the song of him trying, which is
Yep.
a big thing I've tried to explore in my music is the like meaning for suffering. You have to try, but I've tried. If remember Pitfalls and that song.
Mhm.
What did that say?
I can't. Does it say herd? Hered? Hired?
Hired? So you nailed it because he's fishing right here.
Oh, so he's fishing for.
He's
Oh, holy
he's
shit!
fishing, and then he's writing. We both nailed that. That the metaphor is,
Oh,
fishing is trying to
you're looking for something.
putting yourself out there,
Yep.
if you will.
Yep. Trying to land a big one.
Trying to land a big one. Wow, imposter syndrome is it. I think that's the biggest layer on it is the imposter syndrome part of it. Especially it said failure while he's writing. HARE here?
I thought maybe that's an I, so maybe it says hired.
Hired. Oh, okay, yeah.
That's the only way I can take it. He needs to dot that I though.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of people on. I mean, I wonder if this. So is the person writing hired the person, the boss, while the all these people are writing? So, basically, like the industry,
So it might have cut to somebody else's paper.
because they're all writing,
Yeah,
but that guy at the boss's table
he's like the
might be,
decider.
and he's the one that's deciding to hire somebody. So, um, the industry, the music industry, like,
Yeah, it's like show me
oh,
what you got.
and only one of these people might be hired,
Hmm.
which is another aspect of imposter syndrome, like your self-doubt that you're not going to be the one that gets your paper written hired on. But it's a little bit of a reach. We'll continue on.
Tell me what it is that you want from me. I thought that you had this figured out. I am stressed out, we were the best now. I'm sticking and second guessing myself down.
I think you hit the nail right on the head.
Second
Dude.
guessing my self-doubt.
And that tell me what you want from me. You haven't figured it out yet. Like I can't please you if I don't know what you want.
Self-guessing my self-doubt.
Yep.
That's a great line.
Yep.
Because you're actually
It's like that. I can't do this. No, yeah, I can. No, I can't. Yeah, I can.
because can you still see the screen?
Yeah.
I can't.
Interesting.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're doubting your self-doubt, self-guessing my self-doubt. So you're actually doubting if your imposter syndrome should be had.
Mhm.
Like doubting if you should actually doubt yourself,
That's crazy.
which is the second, well, not the second, but you know how I said there was 5 types of imposter syndrome?
Yeah.
That's one of them is when you admit that you have self-doubt, you're kind of admitting that you're better than you think you are. So admitting you have doubt is admitting that you are better than you are, if that makes sense.
I'm
It's
trying to wrap my head around that.
Yeah, so like a lot of people won't admit self-doubt because they're like, I'm not that good. I should doubt myself.
Hmm.
But if
I don't know, I doubt myself a lot, but like I don't let it get to me. I don't know.
self-guessing my self-doubt, I feel like that's that layer of imposter syndrome where, yeah, you're like, I can't doubting myself for my art is, yeah, that's a very tricky layer. It is explored in that documentary. Because that type of self-doubt is hard to battle because if you self-doubt in that type of imposter syndrome, you are basically owning the fact that you are talented. And yeah, it's a hard one to to interpret, but I have met a few people, and I met like one of the people in my documentary actually had that one. And yeah, they were like, I can't admit I have imposter syndrome because that means I am talented, and I
Okay,
don't think
and
I
they don't
am.
think they're talented, so they're like, so I can't have this because I don't think I'm the thing.
Yes.
That's
It's
crazy. Well, I'm not like crazy, but like that's I don't know.
it's
It's no fun. I guarantee that cannot be fun.
and this is someone who's gets 10,000 to a million views on their YouTube channel.
Oh,
Like he's a very talented person, but
and he's just like, I'm not talented.
and he can't admit he has imposter syndrome because that would admit that he is talented. Because imposter syndrome is like not believing you are talented. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that line just hit that. Um, yeah. Actually, did he just write failure? No.
I thought that at first too. I tried so hard to make that failure.
Fail. I'm horrible at cursive, so yeah.
I
It
think
does
it's
look like hired
tired.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does sound weird.
Tell me what it is that you want from me. I thought that you had this figured out.
I am stressed out, we were the best now. I'm sticking in second, guessing myself down.
Made one mistake and they'll be selling this out. Only wanted was some follow through.
Yeah, but I don't need your good example. I don't need your
You scream that you're a failure, but failure is my dream. So why don't you come over here and be more like me? Oh, oh.
This reminds me of something actually that is in the Ava Breeze interview is
Mm,
like you don't know success until you fail.
yep. It's like you'll never know what darkness is, and I don't know. You can't know what darkness is without the light. Like you can't know what white is without black. Like it's just that constant, like human struggle.
And I feel like I just caught that from this chorus is that like I'm trying to fail so I can dream. So like or not even that, but I'm dreaming to fail before I can succeed. because you can't succeed till you fail.
Okay, so it's like to get it out of the way. Just go ahead and
Yeah,
fail so you can get onto the success.
and that's why he's dreaming of failure. It's like once I know what I've done wrong, I know what to do right.
Okay, that ties into the like tell me what you want from me. You haven't figured it out because
Yeah,
like until you have like basically until you've concluded the experiment, you have no data to work with.
failure is my dream. Yeah, it's on another level, and I knowing Daniel, he has so many layers of depth.
Yep.
Um, and I think that's what he kind of means by that is failing to succeed. Yeah. Do you hear the dog parade going on?
Not much. Hear a little clickiness, but not a lot. Earlier,
Should we
my cat was climbing up my back, so no worries.
should we pause it here while we do the
I was about to ask
being
about the
vulnerable?
time.
I mean, we still got like we'll go like another 4 minutes and then
Okay.
Just like me, you know you need the start of the song to say how you
Ooh, feels
feel.
like a radio fire rolling backwards down the hill.
No, I disappoint you.
Capital T-side before I leave New York City.
I think I just stumbled on something big. Okay. So it's showing all of these people at the jobs they're doing and stuff, and it keeps zooming in on failure. And maybe it's like saying how all these people had more dreams, bigger dreams for their lives or whatever, but all they're trapped into is just this like, I work at this place. And so to them, to their boss, they're a success. They're above average, they're great. But to their self, they're a failure because this isn't what they want it to be. Like I struggle with that with jobs a lot. Like, I'll be at a job and be like, why am I here, man? Like I could be at home recording a song. What is the point? And that's one of the biggest things for me is to, like if the job gets boring and there's nothing to do, I'm like, can I just go home because I want to go do some art.
because he mentioned a line of like, no matter what, I'm gonna fail you. I think that's what he said.
Mm,
And yeah, in these jobs that we are
like at some
I don't-
point you'll not be able to meet their standard.
because your dreams are bigger than this.
Yep,
So
your dreams are more important.
failing at a job that is the rudimentary type of job is the dream. Like I don't want to be customer service.
Yep, it's
My
like
dr- my dream is to be bigger, so I have to fail at this so I could.
makes me feel a little better about failing at so many jobs. I was better. I was for better things.
Fired and hired are one letter away. I wonder if
Yeah, maybe it's the way that guy wrote it.
maybe he wrote fired or hired, but I wonder if he writes it a different way.
Hmm.
I did see this whole thing where it said geometry right here.
Yeah,
Uh,
maybe that has something to do with the flat Earth conspiracy.
oh, I was just thinking it had to do with the math of like,
Yeah, I'm just goofing.
um, oh, well, yeah. I was just thinking like, 1 plus 1 doesn't equal 3.
Yeah, Ugh.
So like
Oh, and then if you kind of see like behind it is a fucking globe. Like fading into the picture. It almost looks like a basketball to me, but
a disco ball from
oh,
Tango Golf Tango.
we're just doing like little references to each other now.
So what do you do?
I am rolling backwards down the hill.
No, I disappoint you with the
Capital T-side before I leave New York City. Only wanted was some follow through.
Yeah, but I don't need your good example. I don't need
They scream that you're a failure, but failure is my dream. So why don't you come over here?
Why don't you come over here
And tell me how this ends. Oh, 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 oh.
Home department?
I thought this saw it too. Home department failure. Oh, maybe
Tell me what
maybe I was just saying maybe like the failure is like, oh, got fired from the home department.
it is that you want from me. I thought that you had it figured out. Oh, and the one thing might come as a sad surprise.
Yeah, it's a surprise that you wanna lose. Cause I need a win to ease my
Scream that
mind.
you're a failure, but failure's not my dream. So why don't you come over here?
Ooh, why don't you come over here?
Why don't you come over here?
Why don't you come over here?
Tell me how this ends.
Tell me how it ends.
That's
That's the lot.
such a good song, man.
And he's questioning how it ends.
Yep. We shouldn't do that. Just roll with it. No one knows how it ends. I promise.
So ending thoughts.
A lot deeper than I initially imagined. I learned a lot about imposter syndrome tonight because of this, so that's awesome. I don't know. Like every time I do one of these videos, I learn a lot. It's pretty great. Like the video, like as far as like quality, production, all of that, fucking knocked it out of the park. Sound quality, amazing. Great song. Like I can't speak higher of Neccos for breakfast, bro.
Yeah. I have so many questions for him with this song.
Maybe you'll have a part two of being vulnerable.
If he did this song himself, like that means he was doing the back and forth, the call and response.
Maybe we can do like a part two to this where we invite him and have him explain some stuff.
Or he might just comment on
That's true.
yeah,
That's
saying
true.
that. But at the end of the day, yeah, this was such a good song.
Yep.
And my last interpretation, yes, it's about imposter syndrome. It's about that imposter syndrome of being at this dead end job that you are kind of working and you're like, I don't belong here. I belong somewhere else. I should write. I need to give people my messages. And the imposter syndrome of being in that dead end job, kind of like how you said, of like,
Like, what's the point of being here?
what's the point of
Selling random crap to people when I could be at home making art?
making stuff at what did it say? It was like a manufacturer job or something.
Yeah. Like there was
even
the stuff at the factory, and then like there's people at the just like home decor and all that, just boring ass jobs that I know for some people it's enough though. I don't know.
I mean, even the fact that if he was building a fishing lure, but
Yeah.
he's not fishing himself, is a metaphor of like you're building something else for someone to dream,
Mm.
and like you're not dreaming yourself.
Yep. Almost, and that kind of plays into the putting himself on the line, because if he's building the lure and he's the lure, and somebody put him on the line and threw him out in the water to catch a bigger fish.
That was our poetic interpretation of Neccos for breakfast.
Hope
Yeah.
everybody enjoyed it. We certainly did.
And tune in for our next one.
We'll see you then.